After they are done with Diddy, Jay-Z is up next to be exposed.
Oh man, I just had like a 3.5 hour cry.
Alright, imagine this. The music industry, built on secrets, legacies, and the weight of hidden empires, is standing at the edge of a revelation that could blow it wide open. We're talking about the kind of whispers that usually stay hidden behind mansion doors and red carpets. But now, Sean Diddy Combs' son, Justin Combs, is reportedly ready to take on two of the industry's biggest names, Jay-Z and Beyoncé. And he might just be prepared to share things that were never supposed to see the light of day.
I still say allegedly, has done things and allegedly participated in a lot of things that the public would not be happy to know.
So, what's really going on? Why would Justin, of all people, even consider speaking out about the alleged secrets surrounding his father's longtime friends and business allies? And what kind of chaos could this bring to the entertainment world if he follows through?
In her civil lawsuit, Cassie said that she was the victim of abuse, assault, and at the hands of Diddy.
Recently, Justin Combs stirred up waves with some cryptic statements that have left fans wondering just how far he's willing to go. He seems to be suggesting that Diddy, now facing serious charges and awaiting trial, has been left out to dry by some of the very people he considered close. The allegations that Justin might reveal details about Jay-Z and Beyoncé's alleged betrayal are already creating a storm online, with rumors circulating that these two might not be as untouchable as they seem. According to whispers, Justin feels that Diddy's current struggles aren't entirely his own, that they're part of a much bigger, far more complicated game. He's hinting that some of the industry's elites could be using Diddy as a scapegoat to protect their pristine reputations, and that their silence speaks louder than words.
Understand that he has a shrink coming by his cell to see him several times a day. And now there's talk about putting him in, it's like a bubble. It's like a cell that has like a plexiglass wall in it where they have inmates watching you. That's actually their job, to keep an eye on the inmates that are on watch.
Now, let's break this down. Picture growing up in the entertainment industry, right beside your father, one of the most influential figures in music history. Justin Combs has spent years on the inside, attending some of the most exclusive parties, rubbing shoulders with the listers, and watching how things really work behind the scenes. If anyone has access to the industry's hidden secrets, it's someone like Justin. And that's where this story gets wild, because Justin's hints suggest he's holding on to some serious knowledge that could shine a light on Jay-Z and Beyoncé in ways that could shake up their carefully curated images. Since Diddy's arrest, one thing has become glaringly obvious. Jay-Z and Beyoncé, longtime friends of Diddy, have stayed eerily silent. We're talking about a friendship that has spanned decades, collaborations that pushed hip-hop culture forward, and public appearances that cemented these artists as a trio of unstoppable forces. Yet, in the midst of Diddy's crisis, where are his friends?
If you're just joining us here, was just arrested and taken into federal custody in New York tonight. Sources tell TMZ Homeland Security swooped into a Midtown hotel late Monday where Diddy was staying, and they arrested him.
Justin seems to believe that their silence isn't a coincidence. He thinks it's calculated. According to him, Jay and Bey have used Diddy's downfall as a way to distance themselves from any association that might tarnish their own images. It's a move that some are calling betrayal, especially considering the close bond these three have shared over the years. Justin's perspective, though still unconfirmed, is compelling. Think about it. Jay-Z and Diddy are two of the most influential names in hip-hop history, with combined legacies that have redefined the music scene. But now, as Diddy faces potential legal consequences that could alter his life forever, Jay and Bey have kept their distance. And that distance has fans wondering if these two powerhouses are protecting their own empire, keeping themselves untouchable while letting Diddy bear the brunt of the scandal alone. What if Justin's accusations reveal that Jay-Z and Beyoncé's loyalty was only surface deep, used as long as it served them, but abandoned as soon as things got risky?
But after that major documentary comes out on Diddy, then you're going to start to hear more and more about Jay-Z and his nefarious past.
This alleged betrayal has raised serious questions about Jay-Z and Beyoncé's motivations, especially in the context of other industry figures like Jaguar Wright, who has claimed for years that Jay and Bey are not as above the fray as they might seem. Jaguar, an industry veteran who has worked closely with some of the biggest names, has long been outspoken about the hidden machinations of the music world, often calling out those she believes wield their influence unfairly.
There's no vindication for me, because for 4 years, I've been screaming, not just Diddy, but Diddy and Jay-Z are monsters. And the victim-making machine kept going on.
And she's not holding back about Jay-Z and Beyoncé either. According to Jaguar, the couple is deeply connected to an elite circle within the industry. A circle that, in her view, uses its power to manipulate narratives, control artists, and hide the truth. She's been known to describe Diddy's infamous parties as more than just wild gatherings, hinting that these events attracted powerful people in ways that went far beyond music.
Respond. You have no choice. Harvey Weinstein, Jeffrey Epstein, Robert Kelly, Sean Combs have one person in common, professionally and privately. Sean Carter.
Now, you've probably heard the term freak-offs thrown around in association with Diddy's gatherings. These events, shrouded in mystery, have become almost mythical in the hip-hop community, rumored to involve some of the most high-profile figures in entertainment.
A lot of people have been questioning, well, she doesn't really know him. She has no knowledge of him. She doesn't have a picture with him. I'm smarter than Claudia Jordan. I would never take a picture with the devil. Everyone knew he was the devil. He's been the devil for 30 years.
Jaguar Wright suggests that it wasn't just about the partying. It was about alliances, secrets, and leverage. She implies that Diddy may have held damaging information on these high-level attendees, possibly even Jay-Z and Beyoncé, using it as a form of control or protection. And if Justin knows anything about this, he could reveal how these dynamics really worked, potentially taking down some of the biggest names in the process. For years, Jay-Z and Beyoncé have carefully cultivated images that seem almost untouchable. They've built empires, influenced culture, and remained steadfastly private about their personal lives, projecting an image of perfection that fans worldwide have come to admire. But what if this image is just that? An image, a facade that keeps the truth hidden beneath layers of carefully managed public relations? Justin's hinted revelations suggest that the Carters may have more to hide than they let on, and that their public silence on Diddy's situation isn't just about staying out of trouble, it's about keeping their own secrets safe.
You know, I think in federal court and for these charges, they would say it's routine, but in the public realm, this is very significant, just from who we associate Diddy being and everything we've seen him do over the decades. Like you said, this is quite the downfall to go from, I mean, we saw the mansions back in March that were raided by the feds. So to go from living in those mansions to being in a jail cell right now.
Justin's statements are stirring up questions about how far Jay-Z and Beyoncé would go to protect their reputations. Would they really let an old friend take the fall if it meant keeping their own slate clean? To fans, the Carters' silence is uncharacteristic, especially given how publicly supportive they've been in the past of other artists and causes. But this time, it seems different. This time, the stakes are personal. And with Jaguar Wright backing up these allegations with her own claims about a network of control and manipulation, the questions only get bigger. The intrigue doesn't stop with just their public personas, though. There are whispers that Justin might know about some high-stakes financial dealings involving the Carters. These aren't just everyday business deals. These are rumors of offshore accounts, secret partnerships, and maneuvers designed to keep their wealth and influence far out of reach from prying eyes. It's the kind of high-powered secrecy that, if exposed, could change the way fans view these icons forever. What if the Carters have been using their influence to navigate these scandals and controversies, ensuring they always come out on top while keeping any hint of wrongdoing locked away?
And that has nothing to do with him having this baby or him having this side girl for almost 15 years.
One rumor that has resurfaced in the wake of these potential revelations is the speculation surrounding the tragic passing of Aaliyah and Beyoncé's rise to fame. At the time, Aaliyah was on the verge of an incredible career, her influence growing every day, and while her passing has always been seen as a heartbreaking loss, some people, including Jaguar, have suggested that it might have indirectly paved the way for Beyoncé to step into the spotlight. Now, Jaguar Wright is no stranger to controversy, and her claims about Aaliyah's passing are, at best, speculative. But to hear her tell it, Beyoncé's career benefited immensely from Aaliyah's absence, with Jay-Z allegedly using his industry connections to propel Bey's career forward at a pivotal time. If Justin were to hint at any truth to this theory, it could be explosive, casting a shadow over the carefully constructed narrative of Beyoncé's career.
Hey, real quickly, all that commissary stuff, he's not getting any of that because people in the shoe have an abbreviated list. So he's out of luck. No stake for him. Yeah, he is on suicide watch. This guy thought he would have went home. All of a sudden, he didn't get bond. Remember, the first night that he was there, he was like an overnight.
Then there's the even darker rumor of cult-like gatherings at Diddy's parties. These gatherings have been described as elaborate events, where power players from across the industry would come together in secrecy. Jaguar and others allege that these parties weren't just about fun. They were about control, influence, and perhaps leverage. Rumors suggest that Diddy may have recorded these gatherings, potentially keeping compromising footage that could implicate those in attendance, including Jay-Z and Beyoncé. Justin might know exactly what went down at these events, and if he chooses to speak on it, it could lift the curtain on a side of the music industry that's rarely seen.
But there's also strategic reasons for the prosecutors to want him to have co-defendants, because right now he hasn't waived his right to a speedy trial, which would force prosecutors to take him to trial pretty quick, which they actually might not be ready to do. But if they supersede him and have co-defendants with him, it makes it a lot easier to pursue a trial continuance without him waiving his speedy trial right.
By the end of it, the potential picture being painted is one of power plays and ruthless ambition, where loyalty takes a backseat to self-preservation. Justin's accusations about Jay-Z and Beyoncé distancing themselves from Diddy might seem like a simple matter of protecting one's reputation, but the implications go much deeper. If his claims about their involvement in Diddy's hidden world are true, it suggests a music industry driven by secrets, manipulation, and alliances built not on trust, but on shared interests. And as Diddy's legal troubles continue, it's possible that more names could come out, more connections could be exposed, and the entire industry could be forced to reckon with its dark underbelly.
A US judge has ruled that the rapper and producer Sean Diddy Combs will stand trial on federal sex trafficking and racketeering charges in May. He'll be held in prison until then. Sean Combs has pleaded not guilty to charges that he used his business empire to transport women and male sex workers across state lines to take part in recorded performances. If convicted, he could face a life sentence.
For now, Justin's statements are just rumors, cryptic hints dropped in interviews and social media posts that leave fans speculating about what he truly knows. But with Diddy's trial approaching and more eyes on the industry's hidden world than ever, these hints are enough to shake up some of the most carefully guarded images in entertainment. Jay-Z and Beyoncé may have avoided scandal before, but if Justin decides to open up about what he knows, there might be no escaping this time. As the layers peel back, it becomes clear that Justin's rumored revelations aren't just some simple tell-all. No, if he goes through with it, he could be uncovering a power struggle within the industry's elite, a struggle that might reveal Diddy as a pawn in a much bigger game. Picture this, an entire hidden world of the industry's most powerful players, all interwoven in a web of influence, alliances, and control. And now, with Diddy facing the heat, it's looking more and more like he could be used to take the fall. But the burning question here is who's behind it all, and just how deep do these connections go?
I think it's to be expected, just the shock of this and the questions about what is ahead of us. I mean, how long is he going to be in custody? Is this an R. Kelly situation? Is he going to not get out for a number of years? Is he going to end up serving a long-term prison sentence from this? Or does he have a chance of beating these charges at a trial that could come?
Rumors have it that Diddy's current legal troubles aren't isolated. They could be part of a carefully orchestrated plan to protect others in the industry's upper echelons. Think of Diddy as a lightning rod, drawing attention away from people who don't want their names anywhere near controversy. And if we're to believe Justin's cryptic comments, it sounds like Jay-Z and Beyoncé are two of those people, using their clout to keep their own records spotless. They've managed to stay untouched while Diddy's dealing with the fallout, and their silence only fuels the theory that they've distanced themselves on purpose, possibly to save their own reputations from any collateral damage.
Why at Diddy and other men like him, financial level and success level, that they cannot go get them?
This theory becomes even more intriguing when you consider insiders like Jaguar Wright, who's been throwing around some pretty intense claims. Wright has spoken openly about the hidden dynamics within the industry, describing a circle of control. Oh, a network of insiders who allegedly make or break careers at the snap of their fingers. And if her stories are true, Jay-Z and Beyoncé might be right at the center of the circle, calling the shots from the shadows. According to Wright, Diddy's parties were the perfect playground for this secretive network to thrive. These gatherings weren't just industry hangouts. They were exclusive, invite-only events where the most influential names could connect, share secrets, and, let's just say, hold a bit of leverage over each other. Now, imagine if Justin has even a fraction of the knowledge about what went down at these parties. His words could shatter the illusions surrounding the industry's biggest stars and cast a shadow over the entire network.
Diddy will be sued, and I say will be because nothing has been filed yet, by at least 120 people in the next 30 days.
But let's take a step back and look at how this network allegedly operates. For years, there's been talk about Jay-Z and Beyoncé's influence over the careers of other artists. We're talking about rumors of blackballing, rumors of favoritism, and whispers that these two have the kind of control most people only dream about. And Justin's hints might be suggesting that the power couple isn't above using their influence to keep potential threats, or inconvenient friends, at bay. People like Uncle Ron, another insider, have hinted that artists who dare to cross them or threaten their legacy don't last long in the industry. According to him, Jay-Z and Beyoncé have made it clear they won't tolerate anyone stepping into their spotlight, and if the rumors are to be believed, they're willing to go to great lengths to protect their dominance. So, what does this mean for Diddy? Well, some believe that he's become an unfortunate casualty of this high-stakes power game. As someone who's played by his own rules and built an empire, Diddy was once a force to be reckoned with, right up there with Jay. But now that he's in trouble, it seems like the people he supported over the years are nowhere to be found. Could it be that Jay-Z and Beyoncé have turned their backs because they see him as disposable? A piece they can sacrifice to keep their hands clean? Justin seems to think so. And if he's right, Diddy's legal troubles might be a smokescreen for something much bigger.
Jay-Z has been notable by his silence since these charges were brought against Diddy. Why do you think that is?
Because that's what he does. He starts little fires everywhere. Forces everyone involved to go and carry water while he sneaks away without a response. That changes now, Sean.
And here's where things get really interesting. Sources are saying that some of Diddy's former associates are now talking to the authorities, sharing details that could potentially drag others into the spotlight. Imagine what kind of secrets might surface if these associates have stories to tell about Jay-Z and Beyoncé as well. With the sheer power and influence these two have amassed, it wouldn't be surprising if they've managed to sidestep controversy by keeping their inner circle close and their business dealings under wraps. But if Justin starts spilling, he could trigger a domino effect that pulls back the curtain on their carefully managed empire.
You're not done, and that Combs did not do this alone. Do you foresee that there could be other charges related to this case?
I'm not taking anything off the table.
As if that weren't enough, there's another layer to this web of control, the financial one. Rumor has it that some of the industry's biggest names, including Jay-Z and Beyoncé, are no strangers to off-the-books dealings, hidden partnerships, and financial moves designed to keep their wealth well beyond reach. Offshore accounts, shadowy partnerships, and complex networks of shell companies, these are all whispers that have been circling for years. And if Justin were to let anything slip about these alleged financial skeletons, it could be the tipping point that brings legal scrutiny crashing down on the industry's most untouchable figures. We're talking about the potential for massive investigations, lawsuits, and possibly even the exposure of connections that were meant to stay hidden.
Okay, some people do think that Diddy can help him, but this guy's going to be locked up forever. His case will probably take at least 3 years to litigate. He'll stay at MDC. There's rumors that he wants to go to Essex County Jail in New Jersey because he doesn't like MDC. He's a marshal's inmate. There's no way they're going to transfer him back and forth, I don't know, several times a week.
What's especially fascinating is how the story ties into some of the darker, more mysterious parts of the entertainment industry. Remember Kathy White, the fitness and beauty expert with a background in public relations, who was allegedly linked to Jay-Z? The whispers around her sudden passing raised eyebrows, with some speculating that her involvement with Jay and possible connections to Diddy might have placed her in a precarious position. While nothing was ever confirmed, her case has resurfaced in fan conversations, especially as more connections between these top-tier stars come into question. Could her story be part of a bigger picture that Justin is ready to reveal? Fans certainly think it's possible, and the more they dig, the more they're convinced that something isn't adding up. And then there's the fallout from Diddy's case itself, which could ripple out far beyond his own circle. If Justin decides to open up about what he knows, he might not be alone. Several of Diddy's former employees are reportedly cooperating with the investigation, offering testimonies that could connect Diddy's parties and dealings with a whole new set of names. Imagine the potential implications if these testimonies reveal that Jay-Z and Beyoncé were more involved than they've let on. If these stories turn out to be true, the Carters could find themselves in a position they're not used to, vulnerable to the scrutiny of a public that's always believed them to be untouchable.
It's a question of that, but when you read through the indictment, it's pretty clear who could be indicted as a co-conspirator. Right now, there are people in the indictment who would be considered unnamed co-conspirators, but clearly have played a role in this conspiracy. And I think prosecutors have some big leverage on them because they're hoping that they testify against Diddy as prosecution witnesses.
The most unsettling part of all this, the possibility that the industry's hidden world is bigger than anyone realized. For years, fans have speculated that the music industry is governed by a select few who decide which artists make it to the top and which fade into obscurity. It's a hierarchy of power and influence, with gatekeepers who aren't afraid to use their leverage to protect their own. And if Justin's hints are pointing in that direction, then his revelations could expose the hidden hierarchy that Jay-Z and Beyoncé are rumored to control. But Justin's role in this is complicated too. If he decides to speak out, he risks becoming a target himself, not just of the media, but potentially of those who don't want their secrets exposed. And fans are speculating that his timing is no coincidence. With Diddy's legal troubles escalating, it seems that Justin might be done staying silent while his father takes the fall. By speaking out, he could not only bring attention to Diddy's plight, but also put pressure on those who have been keeping their distance. If the rumors are to be believed, Justin is holding on to some of the industry's darkest secrets, and by revealing them, he could change everything fans thought they knew about their favorite stars.
Now, to the latest on the arrest of Sean Diddy Combs, this one has so many people talking, the disgraced music mogul, facing federal racketeering, conspiracy, and trafficking charges. Both the prosecution and defense teams are set to discuss the next phase of action following the indictment as investigators work to determine potential co-conspirators. But how exactly did we get here?
And let's not forget that Jay-Z and Beyoncé have managed to keep their empire spotless up until now, building a brand that has transcended music, turning them into cultural icons. They've created an image of unity, success, and influence that's been meticulously crafted over decades. But if Justin starts talking, that carefully constructed image could start to crack, exposing a side of the industry that's rarely seen by the public. What if the Carter success is part of a bigger, more intricate story of alliances, betrayals, and backroom deals? Justin's accusations could reveal a whole new side to their journey to the top, one that fans aren't used to seeing. Imagine the headlines if Justin's revelations lead to real consequences. If investigations expand, if connections are uncovered, and if other figures decide to speak out, it could mark the beginning of a new era in entertainment, one where the secrets of the industry's most powerful players are no longer hidden away. Jay-Z and Beyoncé might find themselves in uncharted territory, facing questions they've never had to answer, and dealing with a public that's finally starting to see beyond their carefully curated image. So here we are, on the edge of a scandal that could reshape the music industry as we know it. Diddy might just be the first piece to fall, but if Justin's revelations come to light, he could bring down an entire network that has remained hidden in the shadows for too long. And the most ironic part, the very people who've managed to stay untouched all these years might finally have to face the truth.
Those individuals allegedly included high-ranking supervisors in the business, personal assistants, security staff, and household staff.
As we wrap up this part of the story, there's one thing that stands out. Justin's potential revelations could be the first step in a reckoning for an industry that's kept it